Hi Scorpio, welcome to your Astro Reels. These messages, as you know, are timeless and signless, so you don't have to be watching these messages at the time that they're being published, and you don't have to have any significant scorpionic placements in your natal chart for the messages to be for you. If they resonate, then yay! And if they don't, then I would invite you to take a step back and come back at a later time and see if you can recognize the messages more clearly. If you'd like to work more personally with me, you know we do everything. So no topic is too small, no topic is too big. Just go ahead and well, you can't see this card right now because of the lighting, but go ahead and click the link to my Etsy page on whatever page you're watching this. If you like these videos, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up or a cute little heart. And actually, I have these cute little hearts in here, and this looks like a cute little heart, and I might pop one into my mouth during this video because they're so looking good. Also, if you haven't had a chance to check out the Ascension videos, if you are part of the mission-based community, Lightworker, Start Seeds, all that good stuff, and you feel called to those kinds of videos which bring through information for those of you who are in the mission community, then feel free to go ahead and take a look at those, okay? And of course, as you know, missions are our number one thing, so we do go into mission details if you need assistance with that. All right, so let's jump in. Scorpio, it's so cute. You guys wanted to use a different card deck than what the others were doing, and I'm so happy to assist. Okay. So the first thing I'm getting here is the words call of the wild, okay? So Scorpio, or whoever you guys are, because these are ultimately collective readings, it's important to embrace your unique energy, which you already do, because I'm seeing this energy of like a stream of energy coming in, and you answer that call and then you make it your own. It's almost like this card right here is the combination of this incoming energetic frequency and you coming together to make that card. To make that. So you're very used to making things your own, doing it your own way, and putting a little bad boy or bad girl kind of energy to it, whatever you'd like. And I like that. That looks great. But interestingly today, I see this one card here being what's coming down here. And this one kind of floating. I almost wanted to say floating off into distance, but what I'm seeing is it's an all hands on deck situation here, if this message is for you. And so I see this aspect of you that usually gets to play being pulled back into you so that you can integrate and solidify to get work done. So at a higher level of the field, of course, to me, this is speaking to you as a mission-based person. You've got mission work here, and if you've been following this channel, thank you very much. They've been talking a lot about a all hands on deck situation coming up within the next few months, maybe April, May, June, and so we're being asked to gather ourselves, really go through the healing, which is healing the fragmented mind, and having that soul integration, doing your soul retrieval, doing your shadow work, all of that stuff, clearing out your energy field. I'm just hearing the words Black Hawk Down. That may be for somebody. And I also heard, where I'm trying to get it. What was it? Black forces. I think it was clearing out the black forces. I know I bumbled that message. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Black forces is what they said. So we're looking at energy frequencies that are very, 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 very dark, right? So if that is for you, you understand what that is and who those beings are and what that message pertains to. But whatever is going on there, you got to clear it out. Entities, all that stuff. But let's go here. And so that's what it looks like on another level of the field. What it may look like, this redirection of self, or this pulling together self, this collecting yourself and moving forward. It looks like you coming into service. So on its face, in the 3D, this may look like you cleaning up your life. I don't know why I said it that way, cleaning up your life. It may look like you, what is the word? Doing the right thing, or going the right way, or what is it? I can't even. What do they say in the movies? I'm going straight now, or something like this. Like I'm straight now. I'm like not doing the crooked path, that kind of thing. So that is it. And I kind of like this energy so far, to be honest. And the reason why I like this energy is because under normal circumstances, there is, we're out here doing what we want. It's like side quests, doing all sorts of quests and such, living out your life in the villages and doing everyday things, and then you get the call that you've been waiting for a long time. And so then you pack up your horse, you kiss your fams goodbye, and you say you've got to go out on the road, and you know where you're going, because nobody knows that you're one of the Knights Templar, for example. Right? And or the Magi, for example, remember the mummy? And so you've been called to assemble. And you always knew that you would be undercover, but when it was time for that call, that you would answer it, because that's what it was about. And that's what I'm getting here. So anyway, I don't know what this card is. Falling in love. Look at this. So before you start saying, remember, this is not about, you trying to fall in love here and this and that. What this is showing is that you are coming into union with the call. See these, the light here? The light was always on in the background. You were just doing you. That's all that was. You were just doing you. And you were always working with the light. That's why 1, 2, 3, in this card, you see this boink, boink, just like boink, boink. It's the color here. So you're doing you in your own way. But here, what you're doing is you are making yourself available to do something. Now, I'm being pulled into a 3D situation for somebody here. This is very specific, so it must need to come through. Somebody here, you may be in a feminine gender. You don't need to be, but you may find yourself being called to step up to take care of someone else's kids in some way. Whether and you may be an aunt, for example. You don't have to be an aunt, but you would kind of be an aunt figure in this situation. But you're being asked to step in and take care of someone's kids, maybe 2 kids here. I'm trying to think if these could be animals, and of course, if it manifests for you in that way, then sure, right? But I'm getting here that if you recognize this situation and you are feeling a little bit like, should I do it? What is this going to mean? I'm seeing a soul contract here to play this role and to fulfill this agreement. So, as your friendly local reader and friendly local healer, I would say you should probably step up and take care of business, okay? Because it seems like that is something that you agreed to before you came here. And you may even have awareness of this agreement at an earlier stage of this life, where you guys may have talked about it. Before I was talking about a non-physical agreement, soul contract, but here it may have been something like maybe you chose to be or agreed to become someone's godparents, for example, or you were having drinks one day and you're like, if you ever got locked up or if you ever whatever, I'd step in there and take care of kids. Be careful when you say these things. Because, things come a knocking. Now, I'm seeing that the universe clocked that conversation as being binding, in a sense, okay? Of course, you have your free will, but all I'm saying is that's coming in. For somebody else here, and when I say for somebody, remember, they're using these examples from you guys specifically, but as 3D physical stuff, but the dynamics are so similar for people, even if not the form, the situation's different, that you'll all get something from it. Another thing that I'm picking up here is a pyramid. They're showing the pyramids here. So someone here is being invited rather, and told it's time. So I'm seeing a guide step forward for somebody here. This is an ancient Egyptian wise man, is what they're saying. And I know I didn't make this up because I don't really use the word wise man much, except as song lyrics, right? But there's an ancient Egyptian wise man who's coming forward to work with you and to invite you into the pyramids. Which pyramid, I'm not sure. But don't worry, you'll be aware. Just accept your guide. He's a guide. And he's saying that you've been there before, okay? This could be a couple of you. Doesn't have to be just one. Anything else? He's saying look for a salmon, S-A-L-M-O-N. Salmon is going to be a reference in your waking state. Remember, our guides speak to us through symbols sometimes in the physical arena, in physicality, in the physical world. And a lot of these symbols we've agreed to on in the non-physical. So it's pretty simple, like, hey, I'm going to send you to salmon when it's time to go into the pyramids so we can do this training or we can do whatever. And you're like, okay. So however that comes for you, whether it's actually through food that you're eating, through somebody gives you like a Swedish fish, you know, those cute little candies, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that makes me think of salmon. Or if you're watching someone's sweater and you're like, oh, I love that color, what is it? It's salmon, right? So just keep your mind open about that. Or maybe you'll meet some guy named Salman or something like that, and you're like, what? Whatever, right? But either way, they're also saying that some of you, if this guide if the guide is stepping forward for you to work with, some of you, they may actually break break ground. I want to say break through the veil to connect with you in a very physical way. In that way, they might speak through somebody that you speak to in your daily life. Somebody comes in and says, hey, can I borrow your pencil? and you're like, okay, yeah, what do you need it for? They're like, oh, well, they're going to tell you, oh, it's time for me to clock out, I just want to make a quick note. But you hear, it's time for me to clock out, right? You're like, what? Because the voice or the way the energy comes to you, you know, it kind of just impresses itself. It makes itself known to you. 11 minutes, 11 seconds upon the words that somebody else seems to nonchalantly and completely unwittingly be saying, okay? So please understand that they may reach out to you in that physical way as well. And the reason why they would do that in the physical is kind of just to give you a little bit more validation. Some of you are so sensitive to this stuff that you'll just wake up in the morning and you'll hear a bird like caw or something like that, and you got that message. Oh, it's time to go into the pyramids. You already know. You feel the wind blow a certain way. You're like, oh, my guide's here. Where are we going? Right? And you get to it. And then some of you may need a lot more help, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just sometimes we just need a little bit more validation for our minds. So they may need to get physical with you. And let you know. You guys are the ones where you turn on the TV and it's like you see, oh my God, I think the TV is talking to me. Oh my God, a coworker said that. Oh my God, I read this book. Oh my God, this book fell off the shelf. Whatever you need, your guides are going to come through for you. So I'm seeing this here is coming through for you. The unseen, let's chat about it. Now, notice this card looks a little devious and whatnot. Remember, things that you may not, things may seem scary to you at first because you don't understand it. I say that all the time because of the shadows you may carry. I say that all the time because I have a friend who you might be watching. You know your name starts with an M, God bless you. And you know, because I would call you very often like, hey, you don't think this is an entity attacking me or anything, right? And she's like, no, it's just light codes coming in. I'm like, oh, okay, good. And sometimes we have to have that friend that we have to call up and be like, hey, am I missing something? And that could be simply because of your past. So, I've done a lot of energy work and whatnot, and I have a lot of experience before I got into all this stuff. I didn't wake up one day and start doing, well, I did wake up one day and the guys were like, you're doing this, and I was like, oh my God, okay. But way early on, I had abilities and I wasn't really in this life. I was teaching. And so I was very sensitive, and I lived in a haunted house, and I didn't know that, all sorts of stuff. And so now my mind and my body kind of has like a muscle memory, and where if an energy comes in and I don't recognize it, because I'm really good at sensing incoming energy. So if I don't recognize it right away, we're like, what's going on here? And so my guys are like, chill out. And so sometimes I have a buddy who I'm like, hey, what are you seeing in my field? Is there anything I'm missing? So what I'm getting here for you guys is when this energy starts to come in, please be mindful that it's energy for you. Of course, use your discernment. You surround yourself with light. You ground yourself. You ask your spirit team, yay, spirit team, to assist you, your guards, to, look up, whatever they need to do. And trust, this is the big T, trust them that they're on it. And if they're on it, then you can allow. And you can even say, if this energy that's coming in is for my health and well-being, then I allow it to come in, and gently, because sometimes these energies, they come in and they give us ascension symptoms or feel a little wonky or just whatnot. So just ask your guides to help the energies to come in a way that's not going to give you like, what's the word? is it tinnitus? Yeah, the ear thing, or vertigo, things like that. All right. So I'm gonna end it here. God bless and do your best. Mwah. Bye, guys.